Okay, welcome everybody. We're gonna get started. We're gonna be working a little bit different today. We're gonna be holding poses for a longer period of time, and we're gonna do the warm up a little bit slower as well. So just slowing it down. This gives you more time to get better alignment in the pose. You have more time to scan the body and get everything into alignment. But also holding poses longer builds up your strength in the pose and your flexibility. So in some ways it'll be easier because we're going to be doing less poses, less keeping track of the movements. But in some ways it'll be harder because you'll be holding the poses longer. If you need a break though at any point, then take a break. Now start with our feet about hip width apart. We'll still do our warm up just a little bit slower. Looking to the right, come on the balls of the feet. And look forward. Looking left, come up. Forward. Looking right, come up. Forward and left. And forward. Keeping the heels down, look up. Center, look down. Center, up. Center, down. Back to the center. Now leaning the head to the right. Leaning the head to the left. Leaning the head to the right. This time chin up a bit. Chin down a bit. Over to the left. Chin up a bit. Chin down a bit. Back to center. Half circles with the head. Okay, back to center. Thumbs in a light fist. Elbows bent. Roll the shoulders back. And then forward. Okay, now fingertips to the collarbone and roll the elbows forward. And reverse. And releasing the arms. Now shifting to your left foot, lift the right. Shifting to your right foot, lift the left. And back to center. Now big arm circles forward. And back. And thumbs in the light fist, elbows out, circle in at the elbow joint. Other way. Interlace, wrist rolls. Other way. Then some waves. Reverse. And then rubbing the palms. Hands to the kidneys. Take the hips around. Other way. All right, back to center. Now shift to the left foot. Right leg comes across and opens out 3 times. And then inwards. Other leg, opening out. And inwards. Okay, and then heels together, toes together. Rub the palms. Bend the knees. Rub the knees. Keep the knees together, take them around. Other way. And standing up. Ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. And other way. And then heels together. Feet angled out. Lift the toes up. Relax the arms and gently twist. And back to center, heels out. Feet parallel, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, rock gently forward and back. Back to center. Now lift one leg with both arms, then the other. Okay, and then shaking it out finally. With the jump, shaking it all out. Again, and shaking it all out. Okay, welcome if you're just joining us. We're getting into our yoga warm-up now. After we do our yoga warm-up, we're going to get into this book. Basically, show you up close here if you can see. It's called 30 Essential Yoga Poses by Judith Lassiter. And you'll find that the sequence that we normally do has almost all the 30 poses in it. But we're going to go through this and get every single one of them, mostly in the order that it's taught in this book. But we're going to start with our warm-up, which contains a bunch of them. So we're going to start in wide-legged child's pose first. This is one of the 30 essential poses. Child's pose or wide-legged. Okay, please walk your hands in, bring your knees in, and come into a cat-cow tilt. So on the inhale, tilting the belly down. On the exhale, lifting the belly up. Continue with your own breath. Inhaling to neutral. Take your hands a little wider. Some hip circles here. Other way. And coming forward. Plank is another one of the essential yoga poses. Kneeling or regular. Right now we're doing kneeling ideally. And then another variation that she emphasizes is the lowered plank, chaturanga. And then all the way to the floor. Please reach your left arm out, palm down, press the right hand to the floor, peel up the right side of the body. This isn't one of the essential poses, but it is very nice for opening up the chest and shoulders. All right, now please come back to flat, slide the left hand in, right hand out, and peel up the left side of your body. And coming back to flat. From here, take your hands just beside your chest, elbows in, neck long, curl up into a light cobra, possibly hovering your hands off the floor. Then reaching forward if you can, maybe lifting your legs. And slowly releasing down. Now bring your arms back, bend your knees, catch hold of your feet or ankles. Tuck the tailbone and press the feet back to draw you up into bow. If you can't quite grab your feet, you can actually just reach back like so. And slowly releasing. Hands beside the chest again. Coming into a light cobra once more or into an upward dog. Then back through to bent knee downward dog. Of course, downward dog is one of the essential 30 poses. Maybe walk in the dog here if you like. And then from here, bend the knees, look forward, step walker, jump to the top of the mat. Come into flat back extension. Then bending the knees, ragdoll forward over your thighs, relaxing, stretching the spine with gravity. And fingertips down. Please send your left leg back into a low lunge. Lunge is one of the 30 essential yoga poses. Now please turn your back heel down. Rise up into warrior one. If you need to, you can keep the back heel up. It's just a slightly different pose. This is warrior one. Now this is a little different. We're going to lower the arms, lean forward, step into flat back position. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees and send the right leg back. And then coming up, back heel maybe down, warrior one. Warrior arms lean forward. So you can step forward, flat back extension. And exhale and fold. This time we're going to fold over straight legs if possible. Holding, 5 breaths. And then turn legs, inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, namaste. All right, welcome if you're just tuning in. We're getting into some longer holds, and we're going through this particular book just to make sure that we get all of the 30 essential yoga poses. That's Judith Laster's Essential Yoga Poses. She's doing a beautiful triangle pose on the front. Very inspiring triangle pose. That's how it should look in a perfect world. So we're going to get started. Number one is mountain pose, Tadasana, and she's showing it with a bit of a side bend. We're going to do just a regular. So finding mountain pose, feet grounded, tuck the tailbone, engage your core, shoulders back, chest lifted. The feet should be balanced on all 4 corners of both feet. And that in itself is a yoga pose. Now we're going to take our feet wide. Nice wide stance. Pressing the outside edges of the feet. It will tuck to the tailbone, thigh bones pressing back. And from here, turn your left toes in and turn your right toes out. Reaching up, tone the back leg, inhale. And exhale, arms wide, warrior two. This is another one of the 30 essential yoga poses. Now from here, your forearm or hand can come down into extended side angle. This is another one of the 30 essential yoga poses. And anchor from your back leg, inhale, coming up. Hands to the hips. Now turn your right toes in, left toes out, reaching up. Tone the back leg, inhale. Exhale, arms wide. Warrior two. And then from here, left forearm down or hand down to the floor, arm over, extended side angle pose. And anchor from the back leg, draw yourself up. Turn the left toes in, interlace behind you. Press the weight on the outside edges of the feet, roll shoulder back, lift the chest. Toning the legs and kneecaps the whole time, leading with the heart pulled forward. This is another one of the 30 essential yoga poses. You might draw your arms over top. And slowly, taking the tailbone, rise up. Hands to the hips. Bring both heels in. Reverse interlace in front. Now we're going to goddess pose next. It's not one of the 30 essential yoga poses, but if there was 31, I think this would probably be it. Now taking the knees wide, take the arms forward. And then keeping the ribs in, take your arms up. Want to do some Qigong breathing. Inhale, reach up, grab the top of that imaginary post, press into the solid earth. Imagine you have that much strength. One more. Good, and pressing up. Bring the feet in the rest of the way. Okay, so I'm trying to go through somewhat in the order that they're taught in this book. So we did mountain pose. Next pose is tree pose. So we're going to get that next. Okay. So now shifting to your left foot, or if you're already up on your right, don't worry about it. Taking the other leg up. Press the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. Standing and balancing. Okay, and release from there. Other foot coming up. So the reason I chose this book to help us in our practice today, it was part of my second or third yoga teacher training program, and it's just something that I keep coming back to And she does the poses so beautifully, it's inspiring just to look through and see the pictures. Okay, and slowly releasing from there. Next pose is going to be a triangle pose. This is one that she does very beautifully. I like to use a yoga blocks because I don't have hamstrings anywhere as flexible as hers. So you can, to come in, take a wide stance. We're going to go to the right leg first. So if you're using blocks, you put it behind your right heel. Now we turn the right toes out, reaching up. Tone the back leg continuously, arms out. Reach as far forward as you can, and then bring the hand down into the support. Triangle pose. Ideally with the legs straight, if you can. It tends to be the case that if you started this pose with your knees bent and you practiced it like that for a while, you'll probably do that for the rest of your life. The tendency to get to the straight leg rarely ever happens if you start with a bent knee in poses like this. Then anchor from the back leg. Inhale, coming up. Right toes in, left toes out. And then tone the back leg, arms up. And reaching forward, bring a hand down onto the support, whatever it may be for you. Anchor from the back leg, inhale, and come up. Toes in, bring the heels in, heel toe, heel toe. And we're getting into the next pose. Number 4, standing half moon, so you can see what it looks like. That's what we're getting into next. So standing towards the back of your mat, I like to use yoga blocks for this. Right foot forward and reaching forward, step up onto the right leg. Left hip up, left arm up. Now one way you can do this that's much easier is you can actually have the wall to your right side and then come up and actually you're leaning into the wall so you can't fall in the pose. Or at least you're highly unlikely to fall. And then stepping back to come up. Other side, stepping towards the back of your mat. Take your left foot forward. And we're reaching forward and a bit to the left with the block. Stepping up. If you're using a wall, you can lean right into the wall. And slowly lowering the tailbone and rising up from there. Good stuff. Now, moving to number 5. Number 5 is Warrior 1. We've done already. Number 6. Number 6 is Warrior 2. We've done already. Number 7 is extended side angle pose. We've done already. Okay, this one we haven't done. This one, Parsvattanasana, is often done with your arms in the reverse prayer wheel position, like so. Reverse prayer position. It can also be like this, or even just holding your elbows. Okay, right foot forward, left leg back, kind of like set up for a revolved triangle. Hip square the front, lead with the heart, and tilt forward. So this is one we don't do all the time in the sequence, but regularly. If you're so flexible, you might be able to lie over your right leg. Most people should stay in flat back until you get there. Okay, and tuck the tailbone coming up Bend your right leg, step forward. Other side. Hips square to the front. Legs toned. And then lead with the heart, tilt forward. Inhale, back upright. Turn toes in, release the arms. And bring the feet in. Okay. Number 9, we did do a variation of this. It's wide-legged standing forward fold. How much time we got? Yeah, we did it already, so we're going to skip that. We did another version of it. And she shows that a bunch of the different versions. Number 10 is downward dog. And lots of versions of that. And a wide-legged forward fold. Next is going to be side plank. We're going to go through the sun salutation B to get there. Okay. So bending the knees, sitting back into chair pose. And exhale, straight legs fold over to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, or jump back into plank. Now we're going to do side plank from here. Right hand down ideally, or right forearm coming into side plank. And she demonstrates in the first main version, this stepped back version, because it is probably the best if you can't do full plank, having that top foot back. Very great variation. Other side. Possibly stepping back to make it a little touch more accessible. Okay, and then you can go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa to get there. Then hold downward dog. Okay, now from downward facing dog, bend the knees, come down to the floor. Okay, now the next pose in this sequence is downward dog with the headstand prep. So that means, I call it the I Dream of Genie arms. You go grab like that. Okay, elbows shoulder apart, and then interlace the fingers, tuck the very bottom baby finger in. The reason why, and actually I just ran into somebody the other day who did this, they're doing headstand and they hurt their baby finger because they kind of rolled back a bit. That's why you tuck that bottom baby finger in. And then from there, keeping your elbows only shoulder width, you come up into downward dog. Heads off the floor in this version. And in headstand, you actually have all your weight in your arms just like this. Very little weight in the head. Almost a misnomer to call it headstand. It's more of an arm stand. And then bending the knees down. Okay, come forward and to the floor. Arms back, coming up into cobra. Sorry, locust rather. This is another variation of a 30 essential pose. And then release. And coming up to a light cobra or up dog, and then through to downward facing dog. Then please bend your knees and come back sitting between your heels or on your heels. Virasana. This is another one of the 30 essential poses. If you want to take it further, you could come into Supta Virasana by lying back. Continue to hold if you can. Now number 16 is bow pose, which we did earlier on. I don't know if you can see it from this distance. We're more than halfway through. Next is bridge pose, but we're going to get to that a little later. All right, in full wheel. All right, next, please find your way into pigeon pose. So from downward dog, swing your right leg forward for pigeon pose. Believe it or not, this is not one of the essential 30 poses, but it would definitely be top poses that people love to do. It's high up there. It's a great pose. You could be upright or bowing, or in the full version, grabbing your back foot. Okay, let's find our way back through. Downward dog, left leg forward for left side king pigeon. Hip square to the front. Okay, coming up and back. Downward facing dog and into Malasana. Malasana is not one of the 30 essential poses. Neither is Bakasana, but if you wanted to do it just briefly, you could. Okay, now coming to seated. Navasana, boat pose. Get your hold behind the hamstring, extend the arms, chest lifted, feet up, boat pose. You can stay there, or arms forward, or full pose, legs forward. Then coming down to Baddha Konasana, cobbler seat, definitely one of the 30 essential poses here. Okay, now from here, catching hold of your big toes, bouncing on your 3 points, coming up. This is not one of the 30 essential poses. You could do the wide-legged position and come down. This is one of the 30 essential poses. Seated, wide-legged, forward fold. Stand up tall, start to hinge forward. Good. Won't need the book anymore. The rest of the sequence is the rest of the 30 poses. So coming up from there, bring the feet together. Dandasana. This pose is not one of the essentials. We're going to skip to the next one. This is Janu Shirshasana, which is one of the essential yoga poses. And there's a bunch of variations, but stick with the one that works for you best today. Square up to your left foot, sit up tall. We can daughter tilt forward. You can always use a strap if you can't get the shoulder of the foot or ankle. Coming back upright, changing the legs, right leg forward, Square up to the right foot. Long spine. Get your whole foot, ankle, or use a yoga strap if you have one. And slowly releasing. From there, we're going to make our way down onto our back for a little bridge, and then full wheel. So drawing the feet in, bending the elbows, press the elbows on the floor to lift up into a little bridge. And then slowly lowering. Now you can either lift once again into little bridge, or you can come into supported little bridge, or come into full wheel. From the crown of your head, possibly lifting up. And slowly lowering down from here. Hug your knees in towards you. And then releasing your left leg. Catch hold of just the right leg. And take the right leg up to Supta Padangustasana. If you have a strap, it's usually better with the strap. If you can grab your toe and still lie back, then by all means do that. It's another pose where if you start and practice with your knee bent, then you'll keep that knee bent your whole life, most likely. But some people have to start like right here, which is extremely humbling position to be in when everybody else is way up there. But keep good form, and you'll progress faster and safer as well. Now from here, catch hold of the strap with your left hand, if it's on your right foot. Reach the right hand out, and we bring the leg over into a twist. This is all essential yoga pose material. Come back to center, changing legs. Left leg up, right leg out. Trying to work with a straight leg whenever possible. There are reasons to work with your knees bent, but tight hamstrings isn't one of the reasons to have your knee bent. Injured hamstrings or low back injury, or hip injury, those are reasons to have your knee bent. Tight hamstrings, you should just be down here until you can work up, rather than like this. If I bend my knee, I can get my leg crazy high, but it's missing some of the hamstring stretch. With three hamstring, let's take the leg out to the twist, to the right. So we have three hamstring attachments, and if you never have your leg straight when you stretch your hamstrings, one of your hamstring attachments isn't going to get stretched, at least not fully. But also, conversely, if you never stretch with your knee bent, then one of your hamstrings is not going to get stretched fully either. That's why we do lunges, because that stretches out the hamstring in a bent knee position. Take them back to the center and release. Now, Judith Lassiter in the book, the next one is shoulder stand, but she does it with a huge amount of support under the shoulders, which is the way that I do it as well. The only safe way to do it. But we're gonna go to Vipreet Karani instead, because most of you don't have enough blankets to safely protect your neck. So Vipreet Karani, I recommend a block 4. We lift up and take the legs up. Now, if you're at a wall, you could take legs up the wall. This is also one of the 30 essential yoga poses. I'm not sure if it comes before or after shoulder stand in that sequence, but it's considered different than shoulder stand, but it is quite similar. Now in this pose, Judith Laster has about several pages of variations that you can do when you're against the wall. Variations like wide-legged, which people like, butterfly position, people like the hip opening position. There's lots you can do at the wall, especially if you have yoga props at your disposal. Okay, slowly releasing down from there and remove the block out to the side. Now there's two poses that we're gonna do after Shavasana, so that's a little bit different today. We're gonna take about 2-3 minutes in Shavasana, and then we're gonna do two more poses. They're very simple poses. If you want to skip those poses, you can, because they're meditation. They're done in meditation position. Okay, so finding Shavasana now. For now, knees together if you're gonna work with the low back supported position, or you can have your legs extended in classical. Shoulder blades down, back towards your feet. Tailbone tucked a little bit. Take a few deep breaths, mindful breaths, and focus on extending the exhalation a little bit for a few breaths. Now please take your time or stay as you are. The next pose to finish is in Sukhasana, or easy pose, cross-legged position, or similar. You might be able to do some version of lotus. Find a comfortable seated position if you like, or stay in Shavasana. And I highly recommend meditating on the breath. Great thing about the breath, it's always here and it's always now. And so it brings us to be present in the moment. Whenever we connect with our breath, it brings our mind into the here and now, which is where meditation happens. Focusing on the breath with single pointed concentration, mindfulness, awareness of the mind and thoughts, and with deep relaxation. Focus, awareness, and relaxation. We'll go for a few minutes. Feel free to stay longer. please feel free to continue meditating. The final pose, last of the 30 poses that we haven't done, is just a seated twist. So whenever you get a chance, whenever you're finished your meditation, take a little twist to both sides. And you've done the 30 essential yoga poses all in one class. So thank you for joining us today and for participating in the 30 essential yoga poses. I hope to see you again next week. Thank you again. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Namaste. Again, that's 30 essential yoga poses for beginning students and their teachers. So it's very much around for people to learn the most important basis of poses and foundation so that you can grow. So these poses are very important as your foundation. Again, Judith Lassiter, great teacher. Hope you get the book or borrow the book from someone because it's really great fun. Thank you. Namaste.